After game one, you mentioned it was actually, I think, 10-0. Mike Hallwolf was a 3-hitter against you guys. What's the mood of the team? Is it, defeated at all, or it's just, is it better to lose 10-0 than 1-0?
Well, in a postseason series, whether it's best out of 5, best out of 7, you never want to lose game 1. But I think there's no panic. You're looking at as a 7-game series. It's not like we depended on one star pitcher. So if your star pitcher got beaten game 1, you'd say, "Wow, where do we go now?" I mean, I felt like over a period of time we were the kind of team that over 7 games or 10 games could outplay anybody. So there wasn't any panic after losing game 1. I mean, Molitor, I think he got 5 hits in that game, and it was just a great offensive performance by the Brewers and a great pitching job by Mike Caldwell.
You move forward to game 3. Willie McGee, who had 6 home runs all year, knocks 2 out, makes a couple of great catches. No one can be prepared for a light hitting outfielder to hit 2 home runs. What was the reaction to that?
Well, I think first of all, everyone was so thrilled for Willie McGee. Willie McGee was one of the sweetest teammates I've ever had. I mean, he was just this model kid that you would want your son to be like. Switch hitter, could fly. It was fun to watch him run the bases. Give you an example. He would hit a home run and he'd run around the bases. And I'd say, "Willie, take your time, enjoy it." He'd say, "Oh, that pitcher feels bad enough already. I don't want to rub it in anymore." That was the kind of humble individual he was. And to see him patrol center field and go up over the fence, make the catches, and run the bases, we couldn't have had a more fitting hero than Willie.
In game 4, Keith Hernandez had an error during the 6-run 7th inning. That's not something, as one of the great first basemen of all time, that happened often. How unusual was it?
Well, that whole end of the game was kind of unusual. There are a lot of freaky things that happened. I think Dave LaPointe dropped what would have been an inning out on a pretty routine play at first base. You mentioned Keith made an error. I think I came in that game. Cecil Cooper hit one between third and short, got a base hit. Just kind of all came unglued for us. But I think we felt when we had a game like that, it was an aberration. It wasn't really the normal Cardinal style of play.
Now you're down 3-2, headed back to St. Louis. What's the mood? Were there any pep talks, team meetings? What was it like?
No pep talks, no team meetings. As I mentioned, I sat next to John Stuper. Our thinking was when we went home, you know what? We've won 2 in a row, a lot more than we've lost 2 in a row. So you play games with yourself. I think that's what professional sports are anyway. You play mind games to get yourself in a position where you feel you can do the best job. So you're sort of your own sports psychologist. And Whitey Herzog knew we didn't need any team meetings. We had a good blend of veterans, Gene Tennis and myself. We were sort of the elder statesmen, and it was kind of fun because a lot of the younger players would look up to us to kind of show them that we had things under control in those situations, which is a nice role to have at that stage of my career when I was really a part-time player.
Now, I mentioned Hernandez's error, but he would redeem himself in games 6 and 7. Capped off by his game-tying single in the 6th inning of Game 7. Can you describe the 6th inning and you guys taking over the lead, if you remember it?
I don't remember every hit, but one of the ironies, and I live in Stuart, Florida, and there's a left-hand pitcher that was with the Brewers that lives right around the corner from me. His name is Bob McClure. And Keith Hernandez got the single off Bob McClure to either tie the game or put us ahead. And he and Bob McClure were high school teammates. I mean, how often is that going to happen?
I'll give you, Brewers were leading, Vukovic came out, and McClure came in. Hernandez tied it with a 2-run single, and then George Hendrick put you guys ahead. Do you mind just sort of going into the McClure-Hernandez thing with that in mind?
6th inning?
Yeah.
So we're down 1 run in the 6th inning, and Keith Hernandez is facing Bob McClure.
Sorry, could I stop? Hernandez tied it with a 2-run single. So you're down 2.
We're down 2?
Yeah.
Okay. In the bottom of the 6th?
Bottom 6.
All right. So we're down 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th, and Bob McClure, left-hander, comes in to face Keith Hernandez. Keith ends up getting a base hit and ties the game. The irony of this is I live in Stuart, Florida. Around the corner from me, a left-hand pitcher named Bob McClure lives in Stuart, Florida, so I see him occasionally. And the unusual thing about that base hit is Keith Hernandez